Welcome to the Irene W. Pennington Planetarium. Before beginning our feature presentation, let us introduce you to the constellations, planets, and other celestial objects visible at this time of year on any clear night here in southern Louisiana. What better place to learn about the stars and planets and how to locate objects in the sky than in a planetarium? To get our directions here in the theater, south is in front of you, north is behind you, east is to the left, and west is to your right. With this in mind, let's start with a sunset and begin our tour of the evening sky. During the day, our star, the sun, dominates the sky. But as the sun approaches the horizon, things begin to change. More of the sun's light is scattered by the Earth's atmosphere, turning the blue light of day into the reds, oranges, and yellows of sunset. Spring often brings a surge of energy along with a touch of optimism to our lives. And one thing is for sure, the warmer temperatures make for a pleasant evening of sky watching. Here in the planetarium, we can travel anywhere we want, whenever we want. So let's find a nice place far out in the country, away from the bright lights of the city. This is because in the city there are numerous street lights, car lights, and business lights that flood the sky, making the stars harder to see. By going out into the country, we can escape most of the light pollution. And while we're at it, we can even do away with any remaining cloud coverage that might obstruct our view. Here we are under a beautiful country sky. You'll notice that with a country sky, you can see many more stars than you would with a light-polluted city sky. Take a moment to look around. In order to find our way through the cosmos, we first need to have a map. And this is what the constellations are used for today. Have you ever heard of constellations? Well, constellations are imaginary pictures in the sky made up of patterns formed by connecting the stars like a dot-to-dot game. The patterns we know today, like Orion or Ursa Major, where the Big Dipper is found, were dreamed up long ago by ancient people that associated their myths and beliefs to the particular patterns they saw in the stars. Just imagine what the night sky would be filled with if we were to invent a modern batch of constellations using the beliefs, values, and ideas we hold today. It might look a little something like this. Well, as fun as it is to imagine a sky filled with imaginary figures from our modern time, these are far from the 88 officially recognized constellations. These constellations you see now, and the boundaries they occupy, are still used today. They help astronomers name newly discovered stars and to communicate with each other on the location of deep sky objects. With that in mind, we can begin our journey by finding one of the most well-known patterns in the sky, the Big Dipper, in the constellation Ursa Major, the Great Bear. And we'll use this pattern to find other constellations in our spring sky. Look high in the northern sky for 7 stars that form a large spoon. This is the Big Dipper. Using the 2 stars on the outer rim of the cup, we can point our way to a backwards question mark, or fishhook in the sky. This is the constellation Leo, with its bright star Regulus located in the heart of the Lion. Whenever you see Leo peeking over the horizon in mid-February, you'll know warmer temperatures are right around the corner. Regulus is the dimmest of all the first magnitude stars, so it might not jump out at you at first. So look for that backwards question mark at the Lion's front end to help you locate it. Going back to the Big Dipper, we can use the 2 stars on the outer edge of the cup to point our way to Polaris, the North Star. Contrary to popular belief, it's not the brightest star in the sky. It's about the 48th brightest. But it's an important star because it's located over the Earth's northern axis. So as the Earth spins and the stars appear to rise in the east and set in the west, Polaris remains stationary in the northern sky. Polaris is also the end star in the handle of the Little Dipper. Just like the Big Dipper, it has 3 stars in its handle and 4 in its cup, and is part of the Bear constellation Ursa Minor, or the Little Bear. Again, returning to the Big Dipper, find the 3 stars that make up its handle. Follow the arc of those stars to the southeast and the bright golden-orange star Arcturus. Arcturus is the 4th brightest star in the sky and part of the constellation Boötes, the herdsman. He is said to have gained his place in the sky for inventing the farmer's plow. Arcturus is a red giant star about 37 light-years away. In about 6 billion years from now, our sun will also evolve into a red giant when it has used up all of the hydrogen fuel in its core and moved to fusing the shell of hydrogen around the core. In a way, looking at Arcturus is like looking at our own future. Just below Boötes is a faint group of stars that looks like the letter C. This marks the jewels of Corona Borealis, the northern crown. According to ancient legend, the crown was a gift from the gods to Ariadne, the daughter of King Minos, ruler of Crete. Continuing the arc from the Dipper's handle through Arcturus and on to the southeast, we find the hot blue-white star Spica, the brightest star in the large and otherwise diffuse constellation Virgo the Maiden. You really have to use your imagination to form a picture in this part of the sky, but the legend of Virgo being a beautiful young harvest maid goes back thousands of years. Spica is part of what's called a binary star system. 2 stars gravitationally attracted to each other and circling in space. Both stars are very hot and bright. The larger of the 2 has a luminosity more than 13,000 times that of our sun. The second star isn't as bright, but is still 1,700 times more luminous than our sun. After the sun sets and looking towards the western horizon, you might spot a bright, shiny object and mistake it for a star. Actually, that bright point of light is going to be Venus, the second planet from our sun. The brilliant planet Venus is always the brightest planet visible in the night sky. Venus appears so bright not only because it's so close to us, but also because it's covered by thick clouds that reflect much of the sun's light. These clouds also trap the sun's heat, creating a greenhouse effect and temperatures of over 850 degrees Fahrenheit on the surface. That's even hotter than the planet Mercury. Peering through the clouds, we find a world marked by volcanic activity. Bizarre striations and unique formations pockmark its surface. Venus is sometimes called the Earth's sister planet because of similarities in size and composition. However, the volcanoes on its surface and sulfuric acid rain in its atmosphere make it a place you would not want to visit. You can easily spot Venus shining brightly just after sunset, but you'll have to wait until the early morning hours to catch the rest of the planets in the sky. Well after midnight, Jupiter and Saturn can be seen on the eastern side of the Milky Way. It's when we move later into the evening that our galaxy, the Milky Way, can be seen as a faint, hazy band of light low on the horizon. Named for its milky appearance, the Milky Way is actually made up of countless stars too distant and too faint to be resolved individually by the unaided eye. From outside the Milky Way, our galaxy appears as an immense spiral of several 100 billion stars. Our own sun is located in the galactic suburbs, out in one of these stellar arms, while the individual stars we see in our sky are all in our local solar neighborhood. When we look at the Milky Way from Earth, we are viewing the rest of the galaxy edge on from our position within it. Some 90 years ago, most astronomers believed our Milky Way galaxy constituted the entire universe. Today, we know that our galaxy is only one of countless other island universes that exist as far away as our present technology can reveal. The Milky Way is our galaxy. It is our home. Whenever we look at the strip of the Milky Way in our sky, we're actually looking into the disk of the galaxy itself. But there are other galaxies we can find in our spring night sky. If you can find Venus over on the western horizon, look to the opposite side of the sky towards the east. We can use Spica as well as Arcturus and Denebula in Leo to form an asterism known as the Spring Triangle. And it's within this imaginary shape that we can find a number of deep sky objects. Most of them belong to the Virgo cluster, a large group of about 1,500 galaxies. Galaxies are the largest assemblages of stars in the universe, ranging from dwarf galaxies to supergiants containing thousands of billions of stars. In addition, some of the largest clusters of galaxies known are found in the spring night sky. Using a small telescope, you can observe these galaxies as faint wisps of light. The galaxies you find within the Spring Triangle and within the constellation of Virgo especially are collectively known as the Virgo cluster, the densest concentration of matter in our corner of the universe. Our own Milky Way galaxy is part of a small cluster of 45 members we call the Local Group. Astronomers believe that galaxies are clumped into clusters, or groups, and that thousands of these clusters taken together make up a colossal collection called the local supercluster. Despite the fact that our universe may consist of a web-like structure of superclusters and its countless number of stars, the known universe contains mostly empty space. Most of us don't take the time to simply look up and wonder about the sky. But we would like to encourage you to take a moment, some clear, dark night, to observe and ponder the wonders of the night sky.